I can hear the clicking and clacking.
Yeah, so welcome to another episode of the Blerd Talk podcast by the Blerd Initiative. Today we will talk about the battle that has been fought for millennia.
I don't know if it's been that long, but it's been some time.
It's been fought for millennia. It went from psychological warfare probably to a battle of memes. Colorism, Lightskin versus Darkskin. I don't even know where, social media likes to take things and make it into a joke, right? But I think the light skin, dark skin phenomenon has actually been a thing. Because, like back in like the civil rights movement and slavery and all that stuff, the lighter you are, the better you were treated. It's like the lighter, the whiter. So it's like the lighter, I could be wrong, but the lighter you are as a slave, you would be in the house. The darker you are, you're in the field. And from stories I've heard or been told, or read, that if civil rights, if you were light skinned, you were treated as if, or more likely to be treated as if you're white. But now it's gotten to a point where it's like either your team light skin, which is what Drake is like a representative for team light skin.
What?
And like
the fact that there's teams is just
so and then like what Idris Elba is like representative for Team Darkskin or something. So being
Idris
that
what? Oh, Idris Elba. Okay.
Being that both of y'all are Team Darkskin.
What?
Yeah, y'all are team.
I never even like picked the team. Man.
You didn't classify?
No, You just a Negro. Yeah. I ain't say all that.
Yeah, basically, but
whether y'all know, y'all will be classified as Team Darkskin, right? So, but Alex, since you said you're first generation Nigerian here in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever bullied or picked on for being dark-skinned?
All the time, every day.
Let's dive deep. Let's psychoanalyze that.
So let's see. I think the first time that comes to mind is probably either 5th grade elementary, if not middle school, 6th grade. And I remember, like preteen girls are like the worst. So like they were having like what I'll call like their meeting, which took up like 1/4 of the cafeteria table, where it was literally just lines of them, right? And for some reason today, they decided to be like, all right, we're going to classify every single guy in the 6th grade class, whether they're cute or not. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, why is this a public forum? Like, there are certain things the public should not have access to. And this is one of them. And I just happened to be sitting near this public forum. So then one of them gets to me and the table like grows silent. And I'm like, uh-oh. like silence in these kind of public forums has never been a good thing. Never. So I remember one of them saying, it just skyrockets. And I remember the conversation literally was all about how dark I was. And that's why I couldn't be attracted, like at all. And I was like, oh, that's nice to hear, I guess. So, but remember, this is a public forum, so the whole cafeteria is like in on it.
Yeah.
And like all at once. Like there's no rumors to be spread. It just happened all at once. So no, that's always been just I guess I'd say an issue back then, just because I am darker skinned. But I mean, after a certain point, it just stopped bothering me. Like it really wasn't a deal to me.
Yeah.
Like it didn't hurt anymore per se, like it used to in the past and things of that nature, because I mean, this is who I am. And I like who I am. I love who I am. So if that's how people feel about me, they have that right. I'm not going to say they can't feel that way about me. If that's their preference of it, then I mean, that's cool. As long as I'm not, hopefully treated in a negative light about it, I really don't care. And even if I am, I'll just move on to people who won't treat me that way. So that's just how I handled it. It wasn't really that big of a deal for me like that. I'm not saying colorism is not a big deal, because it really is. I'm saying for me and how I experienced it in my life and how I decided to deal with it, I just kind of moved past it all.
What about you, Kenny? You ever got like, I assume that anybody try to bully you, you just fight them. You'll fight them or something.
When I was young, yeah. Now it's just I got that kind of thing when I was in like elementary school, and people would just be like, "Oh, you darker skin, da 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 da," and all that stuff. The light skinned kids would be like that, and then I'd be like, that's cool," and then they would go to the bathroom. I'd be like, "I gotta go to the bathroom too." What happened after that?
You box somebody up in the bathroom.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie. That did happen though in middle school. We did kind of get strapped in the bathroom a couple of times, but
because it was just like, bro, I just remember one of the kids, I forgot his name. I think his name was Johnny or John or something. I don't remember. And he was saying whatever to me about my skin. He was like, "Yeah, you dark skin." He was like, "Where you from, Africa?" And all the kids were laughing. I was just like,
okay.
And so I just remember he was just like, "Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom," and then they would get the pass, little hall pass,
the little wooden paddle thing,
pass thing. You go to class, so you'll go to class, and you'll go to the bathroom. I'll be like, and then probably 20 seconds after, I'll be like, "Hey, I need to go too." He'd be like, "Can you wait till he gets back?" I was like, "No, I gotta go actually real bad. I had a lot of water," and it would be like, "Okay, go." So I'll go to the bathroom. I know what bathroom he was going to. And he would go to the bathroom and he'd be peeing. I'd be like, "Hey, John."
When he's most vulnerable. Yes, a whole villain right here.
Just, "Hey, John." He'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He'll crack his joke. And then I just remember just walking up to him and pushing him up against Jake when he peeing. And then
he would hit stuff. He would
I don't care. He would hit the Jake. He would hit the Jake and be like, "What are you doing?" Then I was like, "Bat." And then I throw him into his own pee. And you remember back in elementary school, those floors was dirty. So you would just
he
was just dirty.
It's just that he has his genitals in his
hand. Bro, it doesn't matter.
It matter.
But after that day,
most vulnerable position any man could be in.
After that day, after I got my little write up and my dad gave me my whooping and everything like that, what didn't happen again?
Dad, him.
he didn't say Jack again. Because the funny thing is, the one thing I realized when I was younger, the people that always talk the most are the people that don't know how to fight.
Of course.
So, when I was young, I liked to fight. I love to fight.
He ain't out here trying to save no one. He just like to fight.
I was just like, they say I like to fight. No, I just like to fight.
That battle about Goku, man. Trying to protect the peace. I just like to fight. Yeah.
So I never I'm not dark skin, but I'm not light skin. So I never experienced that. I'm like a roasted peanut color or something so I never experienced the light skin versus dark skin. I always saw it from afar.
Oh yeah.
And,
look at you. I would be the one looking at you and be like, "You're the reason why."
Side of the fence are you on? You must pick a side.
No, you don't have to.
So I don't know, growing up, I always figured I was more on the light skin side because I was lighter at that time.
Yep.
So I always felt like I was more on the light skin side, but then the light skin people was like, "No, you're dark skin," and I'm like, "Huh?" And then the dark skin people are like, "No, you're light skin."
You light skin. I was like, "You ain't dark like us."
Right. So I just settled to be in the median. I just settled I'm gonna be in the middle, and it is what it is. But but like I said, social media always takes things and takes it. The internet takes things far. Like I was saying earlier, it's they got people like celebrities as team representatives for
got their own sponsorship by the public.
For a shade of black. You know what I'm saying? So it's to the point now where you see people sharing pictures of I see more with women, but a woman could be black, but like purple black, and they're sharing. They're like, "Oh, her skin is beautiful," which her skin may very well be beautiful, but I see that it's they're really pushing that now. Darker is
they're really pushing the darker is beautiful.
Yeah. Before it was absolutely horrendous. It's the same thing anime, video games, any of that stuff. You like that
everything. It's not a thing anymore now.
Stacking debuffs I had. Being black, being dark. being first generation, liking anime, liking video games, not liking basketball, not caring about football.
Yeah. So it's like now is but like light skins are like the I'm trying to find a good word for it. They're like the punks of the black community. They're like sissies and stuff like that now. Like it's just like, where is this coming
the
from?
The culture of it, the culture change is just fascinating.
Yeah, it's like now if you're light skinned, then that you just assume, people are going to look at you and say, "Oh, you're a punk. You're a sissy. You're not rough and tough. You're delicate, like a flower or something." And it's just like, it's just kind of like, where's this all coming from? Why is our culture like this? It's like
it don't make no sense.
But then it's like it's like black people versus black people all over again though. Like we always like, how can you oppress when you're already oppressed?
Yeah.
Just
oppress the oppressed.
That's the one thing I never understood. Like in our cultures, you know, we're all about like, oh, we gotta fight being oppressed and everything, and yet we oppress our own people all the damn time. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, bro, aren't y'all like, and you know, it just don't make sense. That's all. It just doesn't make sense. That's all I can say about it.
Granted, the memes are funny. I'm not even gonna lie. There's some funny memes, but it's kind of like, if you dive deeper, it's kind of sad that we attack each other ourselves like this. Like, we need to, like, once again, like, it seems like every topic we've done this season, it's like I always have a epiphany. Like, we need to do better.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes were just the biggest, like, oh my God, we're actually here. And I'm like, yes, we've been here for a while. Like, that's why we're talking about this.
And like, we need a
dire issue. Yes.
Right. And it's like, we need to do better. There should be no reason for us to be like this now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it should be, but
like I said,
it's
like,
not gonna change anything.
No, I mean, like, I understand like how I can rationalize like during civil rights or like slavery, where the light skin got treated better by the society as a whole. I can understand where
pass as being white as well.
Right. I can see how that would create some type of like, I don't want to say hate, but dislike towards
tension.
People. Yeah, that would be lighter than you. Like I said, I mean, I'm sorry I had to experience that. Like, especially you, Alex. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and this shouldn't have happened, but it happened, and so we just.
Oh yeah, and the moment they found out I was African, it got like 10 times worse.
They probably called you like African booty scratcher and all that stuff too.
Yep, all that.
Like,
stuff.
That's it's just so.
That. Like, it don't even faze me at this point. You can call me anything under the kitchen sink. I'd be like, all right. And just move on my life.
But can you fight though?
Yeah, exactly. So like,
exactly.
These gloves. Why you throwing me gloves? Catch these
hands.
That's just what it became. It got put into just training for martial arts. That's all. So it's just
and nobody really wants to mess with you at that point after like once you beat one and you know and that's why I always laugh when Alex be like, yo, might makes right. And it's just like, you're right. if someone catches this page, they ain't gonna mess with you no more.
Let me clarify that, y'all, before y'all think I'm some sort of dictator here. We were talking about the concept of might makes right in different countries and how that's not entirely the case here in the United States, but it is in many other cultures out there where might does make right. Be as righteous as you want, but I mean, when you get kidnapped and they start lopping off limbs and stuff, I mean, your righteousness don't matter. So in some places, might does make right.
Could that concept apply to colorism in America?
That's a lot of PPI fight. That's a lot of fighting. So
yeah, I really.
Go for it.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was researching some stuff about this, and it was pretty interesting because how there's always nursery rhymes and things like that, and then you grow of age and you realize like how dark and depraved that rhyme is.
Yeah.
So this one here is pretty interesting because the phrase usually most people hear of this rhyme, which I had no idea was actually longer. Allegedly, it's the internet. I haven't done that much research on it, but I do want to talk about it. So the part most people are probably familiar with is if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. right? Bathroom, things
Right.
like that, right? So I'm reading this one here about colorism. And this one actually reads, if you're black, stay back. If you're brown, stick around. If you're yellow, you're mellow. If you're white, you're all right.
Never heard that before.
I've never heard that before either. And I'm reading it when I got to the third part, if you're yellow, you're mellow. I'm like, wait, hold up. And, you know, like all the images and pictures drawing the lines. Like, hey, man, we ain't gonna talk about this. It's like so, and this is what people mean, especially like with history, especially our history of like so much of being hidden, not taught, or just being erased. So I'm like, that's way too specific. Yeah, he's just chilling back there. Way too specific. So then, you know, it talks about colorism, discrimination based on skin tone. You know, obviously the disadvantages of dark skin tone and privileges of people who are lighter skin tone, things like that. But I found that pretty interesting. Like, yeah, that's a phrase I'm sure most of us have heard. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. But I didn't really think of like the colorism aspect of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of just being like, nah, just poop and piss. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's why I always thought it was.
Like, yeah, but where it comes from, apparently, it just may be this. And that's freaking horrible.
Mm-hmm. Have your family ever faced any like prejudices or anything, Alex?
I'm sure we just don't talk about it.
Oh, it's kind of like just sweep it on the rug. Like it doesn't factor into everyday life, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, honestly, I think quite the opposite because it is such a everyday mundane thing. That's why we don't talk about it. It's like someone talking about how well they breathe today. You'd be like,
what?
Everyone breathes. Like that's a normal thing. But obviously, you know, if they have some sort of issue with breathing, asthmatic, they're going through like some type of panic attack, normally things like that, high levels of anxiety, blah, 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 they know their breathing patterns might be different. They may be happy today. But for me, if I experience this every day, someone, let's say, calling me a spear chucker every day, I'm not going to talk about that every day because that's just every day. That's just what happens from 8 to 8:05. Like that's just a normal everyday occurrence.
I got called an African spear chucker.
Yep.
When I was there, I was like, bro, what? I was like, bro, I'm about to chuck this spear in your chest. You keep playing.
Like, so like, when that happened to me, because that started happening to me in high school, like later on in high school years. And I'm like, I'm always the type to like sit and like rationalize the insult, see how good it is. It's like I thought about it.
That is facts. That you do.
So like, yeah, I do all the. So like, when someone insults me, first I have to qualify how good of an insult it is, and that'll determine my response. Like you can say some foul stuff, but if it's pretty weak, I'm like, oh, you just funny, and just move on in my life. But like, if I actually have to respond, it's gonna be good. So like, I sit here rationalize. I'm like, African spear chucker, yo, I'm pretty fucking strong, bro. You know the accuracy you gotta have to dart animals in the savannah. What the bro? And then first of all, think about it. You had to make that spear, and now you are throwing it. You might have to make another one. Who wants to make a brand new spear after you throw it? If that thing breaks, guess what? You ain't eating today. So I'm like, yo, that's pretty powerful. So I didn't even really take it. Like, I understand it's an insult, but I took it as like empowering. Like, yo, I can do that. My culture can do that. What can your culture do? Absolutely. You can't even throw a spear. What you sling rocks?
you colonize.
Exactly. Like what do you do? So like, I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So, you know, later on in life, obviously. So, but that's just how I am with it. I found that was a really cool thing that like culturally, it wasn't even anything to like for me per se be mad about. Like culturally, they did throw spears. Like I don't. It's not a big deal to me like that. Obviously, if you use it as a slant, like, you know, slanderous term and things like that, that is an issue. But I'm saying the fact of the matter is they did throw spears, and I'm pretty sure them things one-shot people back then.
They did.
So I'm just saying, they did. Imagine just being in the savannah in some sort of open warfare, and your commander, after giving the speech, just gets darted in the chest. That must have been terrifying back then, man. So,
like, I'm good.
We need to bring the guns, bro.
It's just funny. You get like when people said that, like they call me African. I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I'm from Africa.
Then you find out.
So
your ancestry.
Nigerian.
Bro, I could have told you with that nose, man. That nose,
bro. Like everybody. See, the thing is, like, the funny thing is, I didn't know what. Not to go off. I didn't know where I was from or anything like that. When I went to Kuwait, people were telling me where I was from before I even knew where I was from.
Yeah, that's
and I was
history.
and I was just like, they was like, "Are you Nigerian?" And I was like, "Huh?" And then like when the lady would do my hair, she was like, "Are you Ghanaian? Like, are you from Ghana?" I was like, "All right, I gotta look this shit." And when I looked it up, those people were right. Like, I was just like, bro, like 94% of me is just Africa. The other is Europe. But
I wonder. This gonna sound so stupid when I say it out loud, but I wonder where light-skinned people are originally from. Alex, come back. Where you going? Like, I wonder, like, and is that? Am I being what's it? A colorist? I guess.
Like, no, you're not being colorist. You're just asking a question to learn. Like, bro, take an ancestry.
I don't know where my ancestry is from. I never really cared because this is the idea of paying people.
So in the next podcast, you need to pay people to figure out where you're from. Then we can do a whole podcast. I'll do one myself. All right. Spoiler alert: both my parents are both from Nigeria. So I'm good now. So Dante, in the next 2 podcasts, you need to do, and that could be like a season ender.
Oh, not even next 2 podcasts, bro. That takes a while. It takes a long time. It takes takes them like 3 months to finish.
Hey, we can start a new season when Dante he gonna be in here African drab. He gonna have the green, the purple. The whole tone of the podcast.
It's like I found out I was Wakanda. Yeah, I found out I was Wakanda
because of the vibranium hat.
So no, but like I never understood. And it's probably so ignorant for me to think like this too. I'm just going to admit it. But why would I pay somebody to tell me where they took my ancestors from?
I knew it was coming, man.
You know, well, the thing is that why would you pay somebody that took you where your ancestors from? But you can't ask your ancestors where you're from because you don't even know where you're from.
So what's your alternative?
Just going in ignorance.
Death? I mean, then your daughter will never know. How's your daughter ever gonna know?
She's like,
how you know what she is?
She got some Mexican in her because apparently her mom has some Mexican in her somewhere.
But do you know what she's from? Where she's from?
Her mom?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I never really cared, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying all of that's lost knowledge. That's lost culture. That's lost tradition.
Important.
So I do understand. Right. I do understand that why somebody would want to know to obtain the knowledge of where they're from and then research their ancestry and this, then the third. Eventually, I'm going to do it. Is it going to be tomorrow? No. But I'm going to do it eventually at some point. I mean, hopefully I'll live long enough to even have the chance to do it together.
When you do it, let me know so I can send mine in.
Bro, so you know where surprised. You're from, though.
Nah, we can be surprised.
What if
together?
What if you're like 40% Irish or something?
That'd be cool. Start jigging. Have my bottle. I highly doubt that. I have nothing. I don't have any Irish features on me.
I don't know what features I have on me.
Like really rare. Like
I doubt it.
If you have Nigerian in you, it's like really rare for you to have anything else in you. From what I've seen. Strong
African.
Yes. Yeah, but no, I mean, that's long story short. To bring it back though, like, I mean, it's understandable why colorism is still here. I mean, racism is still here. I mean, I think those two are pretty similar to one
almost hand in hand.
Yeah, I think when you're gonna have racism, you're gonna have colorism with it. I don't know. I guess a good research would probably be look at South Africa, and just other places within Africa, if colorism even exists there. When I did visit and things like that, the entire concept of racism didn't really exist because they were just all Africans. So a lot of the times the divides were here in America. But when I went, I didn't really feel the divide there as far as race is concerned. There was divide as far as classism and economic status. That was the divide.
That was the divide.
It's not about skin in Africa from the time I went. Have you seen anything like in Kuwait based on race there? You saw it. I know you saw it based on cultures, like different.
It's based on When I spent my time in Kuwait, like my wife can portray on this also. Like Filipinos, depending on what, come here. Okay, never mind. Depending on what part of the Philippines you're from, if you're from the north part, like what was it, the north part was the rich part? The north part of the Philippines? Yeah, the north part, and then there's like Manila, and then there's like the southern part. Yeah. The south part is like the poor people. Like that's where all the poor people are. If you're That's why I'm poor. That's I'm from south. So if you're from the southern part of the Philippines, you're poor. So you're looked differently from the people from the north portion. So it's like Alex says, all class. It's not really racial thing. Like if you get a Filipino in the Philippines, you can get a high class Filipino and a middle class or a low class Filipino, and they don't know this, and they just run into me and they start talking. They're just gonna talk. That's it. It's not going to be anything like, oh, where are you from? What you doing? And all that stuff. It's not going to be all that. It's just, what? It's just
can you do that one more time for us?
It's like, oh, where are you from?
With whom? You been where? With
whom? No, really. Asking all. But anyway, yeah, it's same thing for the Kuwaitis. Same thing for Africans. When I was over there, they all treat each other like family. Like I remember when I got in an argument with one of I used to be friends or whatnot in a hair store. She was like, why are y'all arguing? Y'all are supposed to be brothers. Y'all supposed to have y'all little dispute and then pass on and continue being brothers. That's it. Like she squashed that quickly. Like I just got quiet because I was like, she right. So, but for here, I don't even want, you already know what I'm going to say about that.
So, for eons. Just some cultures seem to just be forever.
Yeah, some cultures seem to be forever for no reason. And for here, like I was playing to Alex earlier. This is a little bit, a little bit on my side. When I have kids, I'm going to have mixed kids. My kid's going to be light skinned. And the thing is like I told Alex, I was like, I'd rather raise my kid in a Filipino community than in a Black community. Because they'll be treated a lot better than how the Black community would treat my child when I have my child. That's just how the Filipino, they work all in the community. Everything's together. It's not all separate like everywhere else. So like I try to explain that to family. Like my sister, she got all up in arms about it. I was there the whole time.
I remember you talking about that though.
Yeah, she was all up in arms about it. And I was just like, you don't even know how these communities interact. You only know America. You don't know outside. So what you're saying doesn't mesh with the community I want to go to. So it's just like
dude, well, even though we're all in a loving, faithful relationship and such, do y'all have a preference with would you date a light-skinned woman more so than a dark-skinned? Or does that even apply to y'all?
Oh, you mean me?
Any of us? I don't personally. I don't even care.
Honestly, this is gonna sound wrong, and Alex knows this is gonna sound wrong.
Here we go.
Demonetization.
I know.
I will date. I will date any culture woman, black woman, anything like that. But I will not. I just cannot date American woman.
Oh my god!
I just cannot.
You sound like Julius. You sound like Julius.
No, but there's a reason behind it.
No. See, that's the thing. You're not the first person. Julius said that. Other people who lived overseas, whenever they came back, they've always said that. So I understand it's the thing, but me and Alex, we have not lived.
I understand that completely.
Right, but we can't, like, we don't look at it from the same way because we haven't lived overseas for X amount of time. At least I haven't. So maybe I can't understand it. I mean, I can understand it, but I can't relate.
I can understand why. I can understand. I can relate to it.
So
it's just like, because most, like, a lot of women, like Black American women, be like, oh, you don't want to date a Black woman. I was like, no. Stop. Pause. I didn't say that. I just said I didn't want to date a Black American woman. I'll date an African woman. And like, as long as they're not from Nigeria, Because
The shade, that's the overcast.
no. It is a really, and Alex can portray with this too. It is really hard to decipher which if you're gonna get fucked or you're gonna be doing the fucking because it's happened 4 times to some guys I know of. Like they were just like, yeah, man, I got this girl, this house, and everything like that. This was gone, dog. She's gone.
So what I will say, she threw it in the real hands. So what I will say is, when I was doing my research project, when I was in international marketing, and I had to pick a country to do my marketing in for my bachelor's program, I was like, why not pick Nigeria? Why not see, deeply business-wise what it's about? And every single piece of peer-reviewed literature I found out was the fact of there are a couple of things that Nigerians do. And I'm like, maybe that's why I'm the way I am. One, we always use humor to diffuse situations and to cut tension. That's just how we talk. That's just the things we do. It's just something humorous about that. But also, two, we are excellent deceivers in general, just across the board. Like, we had a class profile, it'd probably be like Trickster, because this entire notion of having things like Nigerian princes and things like that, like, yes, that's a thing, but the stereotype of it is a thing because it's worked before. Like, it still wouldn't be happening if it's not working. Like, people get scammed all the time from people in Nigeria. It is sad.
It's ridiculous
it's
what I've seen.
Thing. Yeah,
it's not even only Nigerians and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It can be Filipinos too. Like they everybody, like and when you think about it, all they're trying to do is live, which that's what they're trying to do. So it's just, but it's
just the ridiculousness, the elaborateness of these plans, and just how many people are in on the plan, man. Like, you'd be surprised. It's a whole group of people in on these scams.
What's funny is that I remember, even though you wasn't trying to scam nobody, but I remember you told me when I moved, you was like, y'all found out I moved, you was like, damn, like, I had plans for you. Like, I had plans for you. So it's like I can see it. I can see the I don't want to say manipulation, but you know what I'm saying? You had a world and we was in it, and you trying to manipulate this world.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, a lot of times, obviously, the word manipulation has like a bad connotation to it. But things like that can be used in a positive light.
Right.
So I mean, there's two sides to each coin with it. With each, I'd say with each action or emotion with it. So like using, if you're a trickster class, you can use that to your advantage. I mean, trick them, do something good, like lead them down the right path for success. You don't have to always take from people. You can also give to them in ways they don't see.
You can liberate them from the matrix.
So it's like, I think the cool thing about life is like pretty much like I've always said to people, one, you can always relate life to League of Legends. What? Two, life is literally just a big video game, and every race has like its own class perks with it. That's just my class.
It's like Skyrim.
Yeah. It's just like Skyrim. Like every single we ain't gonna
red guard.
Red guards.
Yeah. See, that's colorism right there. All the red guards are like Darkskin. That's wow. My mind is blown now. It's all over the place. It's so subtle.
It is. It's very subtle. But until you really start unpacking and looking at it, like the blatant ones are like the South Park game, where like you had the difficulty slider, and the darker you were, the harder the game was. Like that obviously
shit was funny,
blatant in your face. That shit was hilarious to me. But that's blatant in your face. But then things that are more subtle, like you said, like Skyrim, all the red guards. Where they do it, I think they had unlimited run. Never ran out of stamina when they ran. I'm like, why wouldn't that be the Khajiit? Like, this dude is a whole cat. Like, they move, but just no. It's the red guards.
The Khajiit is like good at like what, haggling or something.
Khajiit.
They merchants. Merchant caravans.
And they the thieves.
Would you like to buy some property?
So every single like race, class, culture here like has its perks. It has its pros. It has its stat sheets, and these are just some of the passes that people have. That's just how I see things with it. And sometimes you get some negative traits from just being born that race. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Just, try not to play in the roles where your negative traits shine. If you know you aren't liked in this specific part of the map,
don't go
to the specific part of the map. When the enemies are too high level, don't go down there until you prepared and did your research.
It's like if you're time traveling, don't go to the 40s, 50s.
Oh, let me let me end with this story real quick though, because that was my favorite. So obviously I work in somewhat in corporate world, and it's pretty corporate. So this one position I had, we were having a meeting, and higher level of execs, things like that, right? And to break the ice for us to talk as the team. This is probably like a couple weeks in, still new. They were like, if you could time travel. So wait, first, the race of people are important here. The whole team is black except for like 3 to 4 people. The 2 leads and then just like one other random person, right? So the leads kick it off, and then it comes to me. So the 2 leads are white or of just not black descent. They're just light in general. So, they're like, if you could time travel, what time period would you want to go to live in? So, they say their spiel of like, it'd be cool to live in the Renaissance era, or like, it'd be cool to live like, in the 1600, blah, blah, right? And then they pass it to me. And I just look at them. I'm like, well, time hasn't been that kind to my people. So I think I'll just stay right here. So all the white people in the group just look at me, give me the biggest smile as they put their head down.
Like they agree. They agree, but they don't want to publicly.
The execs were just kind of like, okay.
You will find your way here.
Exactly. So I think I'll stay right here. I think things are pretty good right here. And then it goes to everyone else at the table, and everyone's like, "Oh, I love this time period." But I agree with her. But I think I'm gonna stay right here. So no more time travel to their life. Yeah. It was the funniest meeting ever.
Yeah, history in general has been like terrible for Black people. Like I don't. Yeah, I'd rather just like stay here.
Yeah, hey man, I'm pretty chill here. Ain't no one trying to find me right now. Like I'm pretty good right now.
But
yeah, it was, and remember, this is in corporate. Like literally, I sat beside like presidents and VPs and stuff. So like this is like the lead of my entire department who reports to like pretty much the president / VP. Mm-hmm. So like we're having this meeting. I was just like, nah, bro. Like, why would you ask me? But like if I could without, and I was like, if I could without the obvious things I'm not gonna say out here on the corporate floor, I'd love to live in the medieval ages. The only difference is the things I would hate would be plague, famine, sickness, and barbaric, brutal murdering tactics. But minus that, oh man, like that time period is pretty cool to me. Till the guillotines get invented, longbowmen, there's a lot of technological advancement for war that's just fascinating to me. And I could actually be a blacksmith and make money, and I'm valuable. Like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, blacksmiths were, but this is interesting how everything is now in these days now.
Yeah.
People make me sick, honestly.
Is there any Kitty's is funny, son. But is there any closing remarks or anything else? No? Okay, all right. This concludes oh my god.
Right. No. You go ahead. Conclude.
Sure. Susan's like dead. He's just like, yo, let's go.
Yeah, so this concludes this episode of Blerd Talk. We'll see you next time.
But the ancestry test. Do it. We gotta figure it out together.
I gotta do cost analysis. I gotta see if it fits my budget.
It can't be that expensive.
No, it's probably not, to be honest with you. I was just talking
$100.
Yeah, that's not.
What?
I heard it's like $100.
You said 500?
No,
100.
Oh,
100.
Why are y'all so okay with this number? Like,
above 50.
500. I was like,
But yeah, we'll see y'all next time on the next episode.
Yeah, whenever that is.
Wow. What are you doing?